There is a room where a decision is made only if everyone agrees. Not a majority, everyone. One hand goes up and there is no decision. For 12 years, that room has been deciding whether a machine may choose who to shoot. 127 countries want that banned. 6 do not. In that room, there has never been a vote. Yesterday, the United Nations and the Red Cross demanded a ban again. They demanded the same thing 3 years ago and set a deadline. The deadline was this year. But the problem is not the weapon. In a room like that, the majority does not win and does not lose. It simply does not count. To stop the whole world, one raised hand is enough. Every international question has to be sent somewhere, and the address comes with a procedure attached. This one went to a group of experts at a conventional weapons convention. The group works by consensus, not a majority, not 2/3. Consensus, a decision exists only if nobody says no. For most subjects, that is sane. It stops large states outvoting small ones, and whatever comes out has everyone behind it, so it actually gets done. Now apply it here. The states refusing are few. The states asking are many. Under unanimity, the many need the few. The few need nobody. Talks began in 2014, long enough to judge by the record. In 2023, the group got a fresh mandate. Read what it says. The group shall consider possible elements of an instrument, not draft one. Consider elements. That year, one delegation blocked the group's own rules of procedure. A full working day gone before the meeting could start. 12 years. No text, no negotiation, and no vote lost. Nothing to point at and call a rejection because nothing was ever put. Once in 2024, most of the world did vote to move the subject to the General Assembly where a majority is enough. Nothing was put there either. So the room is the first answer, not the whole one. Voting no is expensive. You have to name what you object to. You have to find allies because one vote is one vote. Your name goes into the record. Refusing consensus costs none of that. No argument, nothing is being tested against it. No allies, one is enough. No explanation. The meeting ends without a text, and a meeting with no text is not news. That is the whole engine. One side needs 127 agreements. The other needs one refusal. The obvious fix is to change the procedure, but the procedure can only be changed by the procedure, and the procedure runs on consensus. The states protected by unanimity would have to agree to give up anonymity. A room built not to decide cannot decide to rebuild itself. Nobody is cheating. Every delegate follows the rules exactly as written. The rules were written for good reasons by people who had never heard of this weapon. Their argument deserves to be heard because it is not stupid. The 6 are the United States, Russia, Israel, India, Australia, and South Korea. That list matches no country's domestic politics, which is your first clue this is not left against right. China is in neither camp. It says yes to a binding law once the definitions are agreed. Hold on to that, because the definitions are the thing that never gets agreed. Their case is simple. A treaty binds whoever signs it. The states most likely to build these weapons are the least likely to sign. So a ban ties the hands of countries that were never going to build them, and hands an advantage to anyone who stays outside. From inside that logic, blocking is not obstruction. It is refusing to disarm alone. Remember it. It breaks all 3 ways out. 3 ways out. Each has a price. First, stop honoring unanimity. In November, a review conference meets in Geneva, and it could decide by majority instead. 127 against 6 is not close. The price. That treaty binds the states that were never the problem, which proves the objection you just heard using your own method. And consensus is the thing keeping those 6 in the room. Break it, and they walk out, and you are in way number 2 without having chosen it. Second, leave and build outside. It has been done. Landmines, 1997. Cluster munitions, 2008. Both written away from the objectors. Both grew huge, and millions of stockpile mines were destroyed. Then look at last year. 5 European states left the landmine treaty, the 3 Baltic countries, then Finland, then Poland. The last exit took legal effect in February. Ukraine suspended the treaty instead. Poland destroyed more than 1 million of its own mines when it joined. It now plans to make 5 or 6 million new ones for its eastern border. Finland has restarted production. That is where this design stops. A rule built without the states that hold the weapons lasted a quarter of a century and bent when a war reached the border of a country that had signed it. Third, stop defining the machine. 12 years went on that argument. What counts as autonomous? Every definition either catches weapons that have existed for 40 years or misses the ones people are afraid of. So, flip it. Ban what nobody can predict and anything built to attack people. For the rest, fix the limits in advance, where it may operate, for how long, what it may attack, and put a human above it who can watch it work and switch it off. The price. Nobody can say what makes that human control real. In actual targeting, the decision is spread across many people and many minutes, so there is no single moment to pin responsibility to. An officer approving 100 targets a minute meets the words exactly, and you cannot check. Missile silos can be counted from orbit. You cannot look inside the program that picks the target. So build the checking instead of the treaty. Shared test procedures, mandatory incident reports, a black box in the weapon recording what it decided and when. Now aim the same argument at that. A black box goes into a weapon because the state building it agreed. You would get recordings from the states that were never the worry and nothing from the 6. Same sentence, third time. Every road out runs through the consent of the states you most want bound. The room is not the villain. Being outvoted is a real harm, and small states have sheltered behind consensus for decades. Everyone in that hall is following the rules correctly. That is the point. So when something obvious does not happen, the useful question is rarely who is against it. It is which room it was sent to and what that room needs in order to say yes. If the answer is everyone, the outcome was settled before anyone spoke. The states that preferred no treaty never had to win the argument. They only had to show up and decline.